Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Weekend Big Show, powered by Lawdog Sports. I am Chuck Ramsey, the Lawdog. Follow us on lawdogsports.com, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter X at Lawdog Sports. Joined, as I always am, by my friend and partner, Jeremy Schroder, the ruler of the Airways, and here to talk sports with you on a Friday, because that's what the Weekend Big Show is and has been now going on. Is it 8 years, Jeremy? We'll be in April.
It's been a minute.
It's 2018. I mean,
Yeah.
So 8 years. So congratulations on that upcoming. Now, in full transparency, there's been some hiatuses during that time because of employment or things. But you talk about guys, and here's another thing. I hear this talk about, podcasts. It's getting past the 10 episode mark, which is the tough part, well, in that traditional sense, I guess we do podcast the episode, but we're live sports talk. And that's
Sure.
what we've done in some form or fashion, or attempted to do since we got together back in the days of KSCY 1230 AM. But April will be 8 years. So that's, man, time does fly, brother.
It does, man.
How's your week been?
Man, this week, not great, Chuck. Not great,
Sorry.
Partial government shutdown.
Last week.
Had to work late every night this week. Still get up early,
Yeah, you are an early riser.
Yeah, not great, Chuck. Not great.
Yeah, not great. Well, that you say that reminded me, and I think I've actually interacted with him. There's a Twitter page called Ghosts of Texas Football.
Yeah.
And I guess when they lost to Florida or something, he said, thought this was something not great, not great at all. But, anyways, yeah, and my week has been okay. It's, we celebrated my lovely wife's birthday on Tuesday. That was a wonderful time with my wife and family and stuff to do that. And, we all should cherish our trips around the globe, around the sun every year. But we kind of turned tail this weekend and are going to start our taxes. So that's going to be a kick in the groin right there.
It always is.
It is.
You got to figure out how much you owe the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah. So, well, I hear talk that they're looking at doing away with state income tax, which means that my already inclining ascending property taxes will just be that much higher. So, I told my son, I said, I don't know why on earth kids your age would want to buy a house, rent. If I had to go back again and had a good rent house or something, I would stay there 20 years.
Oh, I know. It's become insane. Where I live, they go up quite a bit every year, and it's just nuts.
You know what else I love?
What's that?
Your mortgage company sending you that escrow increase. Well, we can raise your payment, if you want to pay this out, or, pay the difference in your escrow this year. And we actually, in the last calendar year, Jeremy Schroder, we actually paid the full amount, but yet still had a payment increase. I don't know how that works, and I don't know how to question them.
Yeah, I know. It's nuts. Well, your property taxes come out of your mortgage. Your insurance comes out of your mortgage. Those probably both raised because of your area.
They did.
Yeah.
But still, if I'm going to just cut a check and pay the amount that you say is short, don't raise my payment. You can't do that. I'm not on some.
Well, they did. They do what they want.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. And you don't know how. I mean, you don't know how long I've fought off just dipping into some of the nest egg and just paying the sucker off. I mean, but everybody always says, have that tax write-off for your interest. And I don't know. See what it's doing to me already, Jeremy. It's already got me in that place. And
let me just tell you this right now, Chuck.
Yeah.
That interest doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
It doesn't.
Your taxes. It never makes a difference. We paid our house off, and we've never seen any decrease, increase, we get about the same back every year.
And, I worked with a guy, and I probably shouldn't reveal this because he was at that time an officer. He was then asked to leave my place of employment, not because of this, but he told me one time that he didn't pay, that he claimed like 6 or 7 dependents. He had 3 kids, but he said he claimed 6 or 7 dependents, had hardly anything coming out, and then still got a refund.
Yeah, like, I don't know how it works.
Or a cheat. And because I have always lived my life knowing I'm the guy that, they'll make an example out of, I don't bend those rules. And then this guy is telling me about, claiming his pets and crap like that. I'm like, he may
have been pulling your leg.
I don't know. He got, like I said, he got asked to leave for some shady reasons, but we actually had a guy in the office who literally had 7 kids and he was getting bent over by the IRS. So I don't know. I don't know, but it's
audit the IRS.
Yeah. And that's what's so bad about tax season is it basically bogs down one of the best times of year. If you're a college basketball fan, if you're right now, the Olympics going on, but we'll get off of my tax burden stumping and get into some sports.
I know. Well, this is the time of year that you just compare notes with the IRS because they know how much you pay. They know how much you owe or how much you're getting back, but they want to make sure you do.
Well, and I tell you something, it used to irk me also. And this attorney's wife has just become the subject of controversy this week because of a sentence that was really shortened, I guess, because of state law. But there was a certain tax attorney that used to advertise heavily on the sports talk station there in Oklahoma City. I think he was Norman based. And he would run those audio testimonials of people saying, yeah, I owe the IRS $400,000 and he got me down to $15,000. I'm like, piss off.
How'd you owe the IRS
I'm the one that has to pick that
up. Yeah.
Because you don't want to pay for the excise tax on your boat.
Yes.
See where I'm at? I mean, this is,
and that's a former classmate of mine. I've known him since we were wee kids. Yes.
Wow. Well, he's not very prevalent anymore after the wifey decided to life, but whatever.
Make some bad decisions. That's wild stuff.
Yeah, it's and that's why we end every show with saying don't text and drive and sure don't drink and drive because
it's such a small town, I know them and then the DA making the statement, well, I went to school with her brother. She's like 2 years older than me. So
Jennifer Austin, the Cleveland County District Attorney. Gina and I, my wife, both worked with her when she was at Oklahoma County, and she's an excellent crimes against children and sex crime. She's a great attorney. And
her dad was a great attorney.
Was he?
Jack Pointer, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't. That name sounds kind of familiar, but well, let's get on to better things. And what better thing could there be than being, I guess, breakfast at the Venetian in Las Vegas as Marty Wandry.
Wow, birthday trip. Good job, Marty.
Yeah, Marty Wandry celebrated a birthday this week as well. His lovely wife are in Las Vegas, and I would imagine Marty will be stopping by a sports book to who if you had to go into a sports book and place a $50 bet on something that you thought, man, if this hit, it would be a huge one. What do you think that would be right now?
I don't even know at this point. Spurs to win the title. I don't know.
Yeah.
Crap. I wouldn't touch baseball. NBA's kind of seems like it could go, maybe put some money on the Nuggets.
You could,
Cade Cunningham to win MVP. How about that?
I was going to say that they just had a picture of him up on Sports Grid. You could also take the 17.5 that the Brooklyn Nets are getting tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oklahoma City Thunder aren't playing anybody.
No, that might be, but they're giving 17.5.
That's nuts. And we're not supposed to be tanking anymore. What are the Nets doing?
The money line is 110, by the way. So Marty, if you want to go put some dime on the Brooklyn Nets. But Marty, our good friend from Clinton Liquor, also our good tailgating friend from the OU tailgates down in Normantown. And speaking of Normantown, Jeremy, as we transition into some sports talk, Norman and the Oklahoma University Sooners have hired a new running backs coach to replace DeMarco Murray, and they had also, we mentioned last week that they had replaced Jay Valai with who was that? Dadgummit, had it written down. I thought. What is
I can't think of his name.
Dadgummit.
Yeah, I know you would have to pop that right out.
No, Dalen or Dealan. We researched it and tried to find the correct pronunciation. Ryan Clark on his podcast called him Dealand. I think Gabe Eichert and Teddy Lehman call him Dalen. Coach
Lamar Morgan. I don't know why that wasn't just sitting in the front of my brain.
Coach McCullough, who is the father of former Sooner and current Nebraska Cornhusker Deshaun McCullough.
And his brother, Dea. Yeah, he had 2 kids at OU at one time.
Yeah. And so he takes the reins as the new running backs coach coming to Oklahoma from the Las Vegas Raiders, where he coached Ashton Jeanty. Their high draft pick from the 2025 draft. Go ahead.
We're just going to pronounce names any which way, huh?
Well, that was more of a throat clog problem.
Oh my gosh,
that was the repeat on that.
Same, yeah, all week.
Fire hazards and hey, real quick before we get into football, shout out to all of the firefighters fighting grass fires throughout the state of Oklahoma and in Texas. Just terrible conditions, and when you get those winds up to 40 and 50 miles an hour, it's really, really tough. And honestly, Jeremy, and if you could do it without harming people, livestock, or property, if we could burn every cedar tree in this state, I would be for it. I would sign off.
Yes. I can't do it anymore. Get ready to move to the desert. I can't do it anymore.
I'm telling you, if El Paso wasn't a war zone, I'd probably look for property down there. But anyways, so Dealan McCullough starts as the running backs coach. I think a lot of excitement coming around that hire. And then also, in this day and time, Jeremy, your assistant coaching marketability is going to be based on how well you recruit. And so obviously he got some nice praise from some former stops that he was at, particularly Coach Freeman at Notre Dame. Marcus, yeah, thank you. Names running through the noggin today, but obviously did some fine running back development with the Irish.
Jeremiah Love.
They've not struggled in the running game in the last 5 years.
Not at all. It's a fantastic hire for OU. I heard they were wanting to go after the Looper, but the buyout was going to be an issue. But hey, man, it says a lot about the program when you have a father who had 2 sons play at OU. Both of them transferred out, but the relationships were not affected.
Yeah,
because Dad's perfectly fine coming to being the running backs coach at Oklahoma, and I think it's a fantastic hire. Jim Nagy's fingerprints are all over this, as well as Lamar Morgan. Now, Nagy's a Michigan man, whatever that means. And, he went and poached their corners coach, and now we got a running backs coach that is going to improve the room. He is. The room's going to be better.
Because they have not been devoid of running back talent. I mean, nobody would look at Taylor Tatum and think, man, what a bum.
Michigan looked at him and said he's a bum and moved him to safety.
Well, that's true. So, there have been, Tory Blaylock, Tawee Walker,
Xavier Robinson.
Yeah. I know, would DeMarco be on the hook for the kid that, well, I know if the kid gets in trouble, it's not really DeMarco on the hook. Who was the kid from Millwood that you were was it Mikey Anderson?
Mikey Henderson.
He was
Did he play at Millwood? Right? Yeah.
Was he a Millwood kid? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
But no, I wouldn't just put total shade on the DeMarco Murray era. I'll just say this: DeMarco, much like any other player or position coach over the past 3 seasons, did not flourish under the former offensive coordinator. You know, with I mean, just and then I don't know that the new one was really ready for the task at times.
Mikey Henderson's from Ranch View, Carrollton, Texas.
Okay, well, there was a kid from Millwood I thought that kind of got wrapped up in that whole thing. That
Mandrell Dean?
no. I got a story to tell you sometime off the air about Mandrell Dean and a car, and maybe I've told you before, but I think I summarize or hypothesize that it's a connection that I had with him back in '91 over a vehicle. So I'll tell you that story off the air.
All right.
But Mandrell Dean, the great former athlete from Oklahoma City Millwood. But no, like I said, I wouldn't put total shade on DeMarco's tenure at running back. It's just something just never clicked. And, you've got to have cohesion in an offensive staff and an offensive unit. And it has been visibly vacant ever since Eric Gray stepped off campus.
Yeah, Eric Gray.
You said that last week.
Yeah. You have you bring in a new coordinator, Arbuckle, shiny new toy, all the bells and whistles, and you don't let him hire his own staff.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing they should have allowed him to do, was to bring in guys. If he wanted to keep Beadenbow and that was his choice, fine. But receivers coach, running backs coach, tight ends, those are going to be the biggest. Those are going to be the biggest positions that he's got to fix. Tight end, I guess through the portal, you bring Witten in. We forgot about the Witten hire.
Yeah, I mean, I knew we had talked about that.
Yeah,
previously. So my apologies.
So you got Witten and McCullough, both with Raider ties. Great. But Witten's already paid dividends by bringing in the Van Dorselaar kid from Tennessee, who was a true freshman, played a lot of snaps last year on a good offense. So you're fixing the tight end room. You're gonna be able to run the ball. You're gonna have more cohesion on that offensive line this year with these guys growing up a little bit more in the system. I think it's gonna be a big year for the Oklahoma offense, Chuck.
It should be.
They're gonna run the football. It's gonna take a lot of pressure off of John Mateer. He's not gonna have to be the guy that has to get the yard.
Yeah,
which is just that's a lot to ask of a quarterback.
It takes
in the SEC.
It takes a toll over the season.
He's not Cam Newton. No one's Cam Newton.
No,
Cam Newton is Cam Newton.
It caught up with Cam Newton as well.
And Cam Newton was great in college, but
sure,
yeah, this is not the type of guy you want to do. Yeah, every once in a while throw a draw in there, a little quarterback power. Great. That doesn't need to be your power package.
No.
So
well, and one thing about this era of assistant coaches, and I think now you tell me this: DeMarco Murray leaves for the Chiefs.
Yeah, DeMarco's with the Chiefs.
He's with the Chiefs. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
And so, I've been told by a couple of different coaches that I know that had experience in the upper level of college football that the constant recruiting, the constant combing of the portal has become non-rewarding for those coaches. Now, with no spring portal, will there be an influx of more professional coaches that want to come in and get back involved with the recruitment process, the mentorship process? I mean, when you're talking, and we'll talk about OSU football and some of their media day stuff from yesterday in a little bit, but to me, a lot of the common theme was how integral the assistant coaches are with those relationships with retaining or attracting players.
True. And yes, as far as coaches coming back into the college game, but it's got to be the right situation.
Well, sure.
Because not every university has a front office set up like Oklahoma does. I know that it's going to start trending that way, but I think DeMarco left because DeMarco just wanted to leave. Because you got Nagy and his staff doing the scouting, the recruiting. He's got to talk to recruits, but he's not the money guy. They have a whole staff of folks to do that.
Well, and that was, yeah, your situation to leave college and go to the pros can be variable of a lot of things. But to me, I was thinking like with Coach McCullough coming back to college from the NFL.
Is that going to start a trend?
Yeah.
Now, I could see that.
Was he retained by the Raiders?
I don't know the answer to that.
So that's the other thing is like, it's great that you got that pro experience. And I think I've always said that is the key, even in this day of NIL, is showing kids that we can show you what it's going to take to make the next level.
Sure.
But that's two coaching hires from programs or teams that were in flux. So
yes.
And kudos to Jim Nagy for making that hire. I got no problem with it. I'm just, in full disclosure, coach from Michigan was not actually probably going to be retained by Kyle Whittingham, right?
Probably not.
Yeah. So,
but
still, it doesn't matter in the big picture. I just,
if he's looking for a job and you grab him, it's still a good hire. Someone else is going to hire him. He's going to another great program if he doesn't get hired by Oklahoma.
So, what does the OU running back room look like next season?
Let's see. Going to start the year with Torrey Blaylock.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. So game 6, Xavier Robinson steps onto the scene. No. It's going to be, I think it's going to be X Robinson, Blaylock, and probably the Hatton kid coming in. I'd have to look at what their depth looks like.
Well, I'm just going to say something, and this is something that Arbuckle is going to have to, work his way through. And I used to say this about Muleshoe and to an extent Leach, but I always thought Leach was patient enough to take the little things and just, death by 1,000 cuts. But Lincoln Riley and some of the subsequent Mike Leach tree coaches really wanted to dial up that 16-point play. And I got the feeling that was a little bit of the case with Arbuckle as well. We saw against the Oklahoma defense, which is probably one of the better defenses of all of college football in the last 5 years. We saw that if you're patient and you do run the ball and you attempt to run the ball, that even a good defense, you can break off something.
Mm-hmm.
And Wisner did it against OU down in the Cotton Bowl. And then the kid from Alabama had a big chunk run in the playoff game. So, I mean, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see just total abandonment of the run, or, you run the ball a couple of times, you get 1 or 2 yards, and then you just kind of keep chunking it. You've got to – balance is key. And we saw that in all of the playoff games for the teams that won.
Absolutely. But, you got to get that cohesion up front. And you got to have healthy bodies up front. Now, with the addition of the big lineman from Arkansas, can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but I know I've seen him in person, and the guy looks like a house.
Yeah.
He is a monster. I watched some of his tape yesterday, and he's got good feet. He moves well. So you're going to plug him in at that right tackle, slide Foji down to guard. Got to figure out center. But the left side is set. EPL and Fasusi. So, it's all about cohesion. These kids are going to learn together. It has to be there up front. They haven't had that in 2 straight seasons. And I'm not saying the struggles in the running back room are totally on DeMarco, but
no, you struggle. And that's why I say football is the ultimate team game. If your offense struggles, it is on every level of the offense. Receivers, quarterback, running back, offensive line, tight end. I'll say this. I've heard my entire adult life, Jeremy, that offensive linemen love to run block. You better get that going. I mean, that's you got to get those nasty.
Run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball. Exactly. So it'll be interesting, and it's a good hire, and it's a nice hire here in this time of the off season, I think. Because you're setting up to get those 2027s, lined up and sealed, and then also kids that are going to be Jeremy, they're 2028 and 2029s are in high school.
I know. They're going to 2028 committed.
Yeah. John Arnold checking in on Facebook, having better tight end play will help the running game too. That is exactly right.
That is, yes, totally. And if you see the physical specimens that they've brought in, the kid from Florida is massive. He looks like a power forward.
Yeah.
And he's like 6'8", just huge.
Well,
Beer's kid is a big, strong, receiving tight end. And then you have the Van Dorselaar kid who's also got a great frame. He's tall.
Thank you, John Arnold, for check. Go ahead.
They're learning under Witten.
Yeah.
And if you watched a lot of the Oklahoma offense, they do a lot of insert blocks with tight ends in motion. Canick couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of nuance to blocking. You don't just go up there and get in the way. There's technique, there's nuance. It was disservice to the kid to think he was going to get in there and be a great blocker. Receiving, great athlete, great hands. He's going to be able to do it. But
so is he going to be looked at as he's going to the combine. Is Jaron Canick going to be looked at as a hybrid kind of a
athlete?
Well, I always thought Josh Norman's career would have flourished. I didn't know if he needed to put on a little more weight or
he had a decent NFL career with the Chargers.
Yeah, he did. He did. Dan Narva checking in. Thank you, John Arnold, for that comment. We appreciate it. And everybody keep the comments coming in. Dan Narva checking in from the second floor of Hacienda Narva in Michigan. So
how the slots playing up there today, Dan?
So I texted Dan, or I guess our group thread, and let Dan know that I think Sparty broke Mick Cronin at UCLA the other night. He ejected his own player. And
he should have. I had no problem with that.
Yeah, there was a lot of scuttlebutt on the debate shows the next day, and I think there's reasons why certain talking heads are going to take the player's side each and every time, but it's your team, and you have to answer the questions as to why that kid. I don't know if I'd have ran him out to the locker room, but I probably would have said go to the end of the bench. You're not going back in. But Sparty put the whooping on him, and that's probably what brought out a lot of that. But we're seeing a lot. You had the St. John's Providence crap last week. College basketball needs to get a wrap on all that.
Yeah, you got it's basketball. Come on.
Yeah. So, anyways, OU football looking to be, increasingly looking to be placed in good hands and nice hires, and not a lot of preseason respect going in by some of the prognosticators that I've seen. About a top 20 ranking, and then
I've seen 15. I've seen about an average about 15.
So a lot of the
with that. What were they last year? 19th? Made the playoff.
Yeah, for sure. Dan Narva says that was a 50-50 call. I think maybe a bit much to embarrass him in front of 15,000. Now, like I said, you pull him out, you don't make a spectacle, and
it's going to look a lot worse if the kid he shoved comes down on the the basket stanchion and snaps his leg like a twig.
And that's why I hate those. I hate those. Those hang the goals from the Raptors. Don't have that base down there. The horror. I can only imagine the horror that Paul George went through.
The humanity.
The humanity. But no, those bases like that, and those breakaway plays, you do have to probably say.
It's just, man, it's a character thing. Yeah, you're getting your ass beat. Just take it like a man. It happens.
Mm-hmm. John Arnold bringing up the popcorn machine fire in Normantown, and kind of sparked a win for the OU men.
It encapsulated the Oklahoma season.
Yeah, held on to a lead, and hopefully
fire, maybe a popcorn machine fire.
Kept the tenure of Porter Moser intact. Of course,
I don't think they're going to fire him. I think they're going to give him another shot with some money.
Who's out there that you would go get? Other than an unproven D2 or FBS or not FCS, but mid-major.
Well, the Facebook crowd seems to think that Calvin Samsung's going to come back. I think Kelvin is 70. He's coaching in sweatpants, and he's not long for the bench.
Yeah.
Quantas White's coaching somewhere. Bring a younger guy in who's got ties,
Go get
and
Kellen.
just,
What's wrong with Kellen?
I don't know. Has he run his own shop yet?
He's learned from a great one. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember Heart Hustle Hardwood as fondly as you do.
Wow.
I mean, he's had great success with it, but I just want a good product, just a good product. Play
Yeah.
hard,
Well,
win games,
they
make
got
the
boat race in
tournament.
Knoxville the other night, so that's going to
I've
be.
I've got low expectations for Oklahoma basketball. If you get to the tournament and get into this, at least get into the field of 32 every year, I'm satisfied with that. I don't ask for a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's maybe a run to the Elite Eight every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, make your odd Final Four. Who knows what can happen?
But I mean,
But
I look at the landscape of college basketball, Jeremy, and I mean, you know, uh, and Texas Tech suffered a really heartbreaking loss the other night with JT Toppin tearing his ACL
that's awful.
in Tempe.
See any relation to Obi?
I don't know. I've heard hear that name and I think of either one, so I haven't efforted that, but
I saw Toppin, and my immediate reaction was, "Oh, I guess he got to stay and was able to go back to college."
yeah,
Like, oh wait, no,
like
probably not
Charles
the same guy.
No, but we'll kind of last week we teased a big signing by Coach Cal in Fayetteville that came to fruition that I think On3 had put out there or somebody, but no, it's funny in college basketball how the landscape has changed over the years. I mean, Baylor is what 3-4 seasons removed from a national title,
Mhm.
and they look awful this year. I mean, NIL is changing the landscape of so many sports, and obviously it looks like NIL and coaching is really making OU baseball a power this season.
Tell you what, put the whooping on TCU this
Boy,
week.
they mowed through that festival down in Arlington.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Let's go, Skip.
Actually, New Mexico State, I think, gave them their toughest battle. But the Diamond Sports are getting underway. And then also today, I think, Jeremy, is opening day of spring training games for Major League Baseball. And we had John Moore on last week to help us preview the Texas Rangers. And if you want to catch that and you missed it, be sure and go to our YouTube channel and check out the video with John Moore there on the channel. Well, change in Stillwater, Jeremy, has come and is kind of settling into place. And I like the hire. I think it was a great hire for OSU to hire Eric Morris from University of North Texas. He really had a strong product there in Denton, probably even stronger than the salad days of Seth Luttrell for the Mean Green.
And good on Morris to know, hey, I'm hot. I need to go.
Oh, strike.
Good on him.
Mhm.
That was Seth's issue. He didn't know when to get.
Yeah.
But hey, you learn from people making mistakes, right?
You can always hit those group of 5 schools on your way down.
Yep.
Move up while the trending is upwards, because loyalty, is a funny thing in sports. But anyways, I like the Eric Morris hire. I think, it's interesting some of the other candidates when you think about who was going to replace Mike Gundy. I know at one time G.J. Kinney down at Texas State. It seemed like it was all based on I-35. It was going to be trailer at UTSA or
corridor of coaches.
Exactly. And all roads lead to the Highway 51 exit. But Eric Morris steps in, and then he brings a lot of staff and a lot of players from North Texas. And I think I saw a graphic this week, Jeremy, 51 transfers in.
It's the Indiana model. You go to heck, how many did they have transfer out? Like 60?
Yeah.
I mean, they had a skeleton crew at the end of the season last year.
Oh,
God
yeah.
bless those kids for playing out the string.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the model anytime you have a coaching change.
Sure.
It's just going to be just a brand new. It's going to be a brand new roster, and it's going to be full of guys that have played a lot of college football.
And if you're going to model yourself after a program, why not Indiana? I mean, that would seem to be the blueprint that would work, just about anywhere.
I mean, it's not going to work everywhere because you don't have the Godfather in charge of all these programs.
Well,
Kurt Signetti's
yeah,
outstanding.
yeah, there will be some failures, but let's go here. Go ahead and hear some audio. This audio courtesy of OSU Athletics, and this is quarterback transfer Drew Mestemaker talking about his recruitment into and following Coach Eric Morris from University of North Texas.
No, I mean, I knew the whole time, like, Coach Morris was going to be a huge factor, and wherever he went, like, that was probably going to be where I was going. And I was learning new things about myself on social media every day, that I was, getting this much money from this school and this much money from this school. Like, it was all stuff that I wasn't even thinking about. And, but I told Coach Morris, I was like, Coach, I want to still see what's out there because, I never got recruited out of high school. And it's like, I just want to see what's out there. But it was a pretty quick recruiting process, and I made my decision pretty quickly.
So Drew Mestemaker talking about his following of Coach Eric Morris from the University of North Texas. And you would feel, I mean, I know you and I and what we talk about with sports, and the people that take a chance on you will always, I think, in human nature, get the benefit of the doubt.
You would hope, because he didn't start a game in high school, did he?
I heard he was a backup, and
he walked on at North Texas.
Yeah.
And then, the rest is history. Leads FBS in passing. Had a fantastic season. It's got a little funky throwing motion. Kind of carries the ball a little low for my liking. But hey, if you're going to transfer to a Power 4, why not go to the P4G7 conference that is the Big 12, home of wayward orphans?
Well, and you're going to have opportunities to air it out, and I think Eric Morris knows that as well. We know the offensive capabilities of the Big 12 regular season. I love the story, and if he comes in and has a whale of a season and is a Heisman candidate, that would be outstanding for everyone in black and orange. I didn't watch enough UNT last year to know exactly what the pluses and minuses were. Like you mentioned, he may have an odd delivery, whatever the case might be. They ran the ball down the throats of the American Athletic Conference opponents that they played. He aired it out. We'll hear from Caleb Hawkins, the former North Rock Creek high school running back, transferred also. But I'll say this. Eric Morris and those players in that backfield are what had North Texas in any semblance of playoff talk. And there was some playoff talk.
There was, yes.
They
had a great season.
Yeah, with those group of 5 slots that were entered in there. But, they lost to South Florida, I think, at home. And South Florida obviously showed some things last season that they had the Jimmies and Joes. Obviously, Florida, good place to recruit from. But, it's all just dependent on how it transfers in. And I think it's like with the Ben Arbuckle thing. They just, onslaught of offense out at Washington State. It's an adjustment period in Norman. So, and I guess really, like you said, the fertile fields of offense in the Big 12 are probably something that will benefit that whole staff.
Yeah, and we saw it with the when the Red Raiders made the playoff. That offense was, they didn't see defenses like that all season.
Apparently not.
And and that was a Big 10 defense. That wasn't even SEC, Chuck. It doesn't mean as much.
Yeah, you're right. And Oregon, I don't think. I mean, they got
guys. They got
guys. Yeah, and nothing to take away from the Ducks, but it wasn't like they were going up against Georgia or Miami or anything like that.
No.
But, and then it's, I don't know. To me, getting into the Big 12 and just getting your feet under you is going to be I'm not trying to take anything away from the Big 12 because I still got a lot of love for that conference. But like I said, I called it fertile fields of offense in the Big 12. Your offenses are going to flourish. And then you've got to figure out your game plan when you get into a bowl game or potential playoff.
That was always the bugaboo, wasn't it?
It's
After
been the
2000, after what, 2009, they'd get into a playoff,
Yeah.
or a national championship game and just get housed.
Now, I would have loved to have seen the 2014 TCU Horned Frogs. The year that they had the split title, Baylor. I guess Baylor beat them that year.
Yes,
but Trevon Boykins, was that his name?
Trevon Boykin, yeah.
I would love to have seen him get a shot, but who knows? It might have been the same case with regards to TCU getting trucked by Georgia. But still, yeah, it's in the trenches, so it'll be dependent on Coach Morris to go get hogs, but he did bring in a standout running back recruit who I think was a high portal target. This is Caleb Hawkins, a former North Rock Creek Cougar, I think they are, who played at North Texas and talks about growing up an OSU fan.
I had some brief recruitment here, of course. I never got the offer, though, and I'm excited to be back. And Coach Cobbs just took me with him to UNT and then brought me back here, so I'm excited to be back.
Obviously, you mentioned, you have so many familiar faces, you pretty much the same coaching staff. How much of an advantage does that play heading into this season?
I feel it plays a big advantage, getting to stay with my exact same coaching staff, same scheme, not having to learn as much, but, still progressing and getting better every day, but knowing what I have to do and what I need to learn.
Audio there courtesy of OSU Athletics, and Patrick Cobbs is the running backs coach he is mentioning, who was brought to Stillwater with Coach Morris, who was also a Shawnee area, I believe Tecumseh was where Patrick Cobbs played his high school basketball. Had some NFL snaps, if I remember right.
He did play for a minute in the league, yes.
And was a North Texas standout down there playing in Denton in college, in his own college career. But Caleb Hawkins, man, he had a lot of standout plays last year. He was, I think he got a lot of helmet stickers on College Game Day Final last season. So a big name in the portal for OSU and Coach Eric Morris. But still, we talked about it. These assistant coach relationships with the players really have a lot to do with your success or failure in this era of modern football.
Yeah, I mean that's where we're at, right? Especially when you're turning over a roster completely through the portal. Like you said, loyalty, guys who took a chance on you. But
I like go ahead. Sorry.
Caleb Hawkins, man, he's 6'2", north of 200 pounds. That's a good size back.
I called a basketball game against him. North Rock Creek played Weatherford twice last season, and I think the second time was in the state semifinals. And he's a load. He was super athletic. At 6'2", he was athletic enough to hang with our 6'6" guys, 6'7" guys. So just a really standout athlete. And honestly, when the recruitment process is going on in high school football, I've kind of moved on to basketball. As far as the play-by-play goes. So I didn't catch him going to North Texas until I started hearing the name Caleb Hawkins on highlights. It's like
it just makes you wonder how he was ever allowed to get out of the state.
Well, and that's kind of a question I was going to lead this into, and we'll hear two more audio clips from players who stayed with the program. But, have the woes of the OSU Cowboys almost solely been placed on the shoulders of Mike Gundy?
It seems like it, doesn't it?
I mean, that's the thing. His prime years, he was picking up those kids who weren't getting the OU offers and wanted to come to OSU and really motivated. You know, I mean, and I'm sure some OSU fan would take me to task with that, but you can't argue with the lack of results in the final 2 seasons.
No, it was it's bad. It's bad. It's like it's not going to take much to be better at
No.
Oklahoma State. What, they won 1 ball game last year,
Oh yeah,
3 the year before, not a single conference game in 2
haven't won a
years.
conference game in 2 seasons.
Their only FBS win is against Arkansas. Sorry, Connor.
And that was double up. Was that was overtime?
Yeah, it was an overtime game.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
it's like you said, it's a low bar and
lack of talent. It just kind of seemed like when Gundy lost a lot of his fire when he wasn't able to run the offense.
Yeah.
And it just every year it just got a little bit worse, and then finally the bottom fell out.
Well, when they lost Jim Knowles,
yes.
was
Where is he now?
Tennessee.
He's at Tennessee. Okay, I knew that. Okay,
Left Ohio State for Penn State, James Franklin, and then subsequently was I don't know if he was let go, but he's now with Josh Heupel, I think, at Tennessee.
Well, that's a good spot. I mean, they got lots of dudes.
You can get dudes to Knoxville.
His system should be very good in the SEC.
Yeah. Tennessee should be vastly improved. Our next audio is Malik Charles, a defensive end who actually was with the program. He talks about what kept him at OSU.
I'm gonna be real. I knew I was gonna stay regardless. When I initially transferred from West Georgia, I told, me and my family talked about it. Wherever I chose was where I was gonna be for the next 2 years. And so, coaching changes happen. It's gonna happen in the league. So, you just got to be able to adapt to adversity. And so, I knew it was gonna be set in stone. I was gonna stay here regardless.
Why?
So, subsequently, Barry Trammell asked him, what was that? And he mentioned Coach Greg. I think he's the one that mentioned. Well, let's go ahead and finish out the clip.
It's so important to you and your family.
I wanted to be at a place where I could solidify myself. I'd been around to 3 different colleges. At this point, when I was coming to transfer here, I'd been up to 3 different colleges at that point. And I wanted to be somewhere where I could make a name for myself and stay for my last 2 seasons.
So Barry asked him, what was the tie-in that made him stay after several transfers? And I think they're probably going to start seeing, Jeremy, a lot of these players, and if they have agents, which I'm told they do because
they do
with money now, agents are probably going to start advising them, how about you project a little stability to the next? And I don't know his draft prospect status or anything like that, but if you're playing in Division I football and you can go out and have a good season, you can get on a squad.
Oh yeah.
But no, he mentioned that, and that's where I think we will start to see, maybe instead of the knee-jerk reaction, oh, they're all just free agents, they're all just going everywhere for money, blah blah blah. There will be some kids that say, you know what, I'm gonna work here. I mean, I like it here. They treat me well, because I hear the pencil neck that we talk about all the time say, and he preaches it. It's a mantra: chase greatness, don't chase money. And maybe that's starting to filtrate into some of the college sports.
Well, let's hope. But it's such a crapshoot, because 1% are gonna get drafted.
Yeah,
there's so many players in college, so many college football programs, and I get it. But you would hope that guys would chase greatness, would want to go to somewhere where they could, have success, excel. You're going to get paid in college regardless. But man, it's hard. It's hard to turn down that big bag of cash to go to a Tennessee or.
Well, and who was it? Kendall Dolby that left OU for the bag this season. And
yeah,
it was. I heard he's the one that's married to the softball player, right?
No, you're thinking of not Kip Lewis. Colby McKenzie.
Colby McKenzie. So Colby McKenzie, I heard this phrase this way by a station in your town, that he's probably going to be too much of a tweener to have an NFL career. So make that money now. with a school that's gonna throw it at you.
Well, he went to Northwestern. What's their NIL budget?
Well, regardless, if he's a prospect from the SEC at OU on a defense that was great, I'm sure that he's getting a little higher percentage of it, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, Owen Heineke. You saying that Owen Heineke is that much more physically gifted than Kobe McKenzie?
I don't know. That's just something I
yeah.
heard by the talking heads on your not your network, but the network that's in your town.
I just kind of figured he went there because he wanted to play every snap because he lost a lot of snaps towards the end of the season because
Sure.
Heineke had established himself as the guy.
But you're probably going to get those back once Heineke doesn't get it. I mean, maybe
that's true.
Figured Heineke would get.
When you got the Sawyer kid coming in from Michigan, who is dynamite. So,
yeah. Well, anyways, so defensive end Jaleel Johnson for the Cowboys also. As my apologies there, we're talking OSU football and we revert right into OU talk, so it's a hard habit to break, just like in Chicago. This is Jaleel Johnson talking about his staying with the Pokes.
It's definitely been different. Just obviously, like you said, a whole bunch of new faces in here, but really much hasn't changed. It's still the same thing. We still playing here to play ball, and yeah, man, it's just not much change.
Jaleel, can you talk us through your process of the coaching change happens? And obviously everybody's got a decision to make. Do you stay? Do you go? What did you sort of go through? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah. Obviously seeing Coach Gundy go, it hurt because, he's the one that gave me the opportunity to play here. But ultimately, there's going to be changes, even in the NFL. It's people come and go all the time, and I decided that, me staying here would have been my best decision, my best choice, because I have unfinished business here. The past 2 years haven't been great, and I want to be the reason why we changed the narrative.
And I think it was Malik Charles prior to that mentioned Coach Richmond coming in, Greg Richmond, former OSU defensive lineman, made the move with Coach Eric Morris from North Texas. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is correct. He did a year there. He did a year at Sam Houston. He was on staff at Oklahoma State for 5 years as defensive line coach.
Yeah, I remembered that time.
18 to 22.
And honestly, I did not realize that he was actually gone. I thought he'd stuck around. And like I said, there'll be nights where there'll be games where OSU has success, and you'll look at it, and probably OSU fans will be saying, why couldn't this have just been Gundy? Why couldn't this have happened, in Mike's 21st, 22nd, 23rd years? And I'll ask that question because I think you can win in Stillwater. I think you can win in the Big 12. But
he did. He did.
Yeah.
But I sometimes, man, it's just time to go. I think anybody can look at that situation and say, yeah, it was probably past time for him to move on.
Kirk Ferentz still at Iowa.
And it's been time for him to go.
He got him in a good bowl. I mean, they perform. I mean, they're not in the SEC. They have made some Big Ten titles games, but yeah, I get what you're saying. And coaching, like we've said, it's a young man's game now, or else you're the most energetic geriatric that's ever walked the face of the earth. I'd be interested to know what Pete Carroll could do on the collegiate level in this era.
I say let's not worry about that. He's pushing 80. I mean, he could maybe run for Congress, but I think probably coaching's probably the game's probably passed him by enough that he just.
I totally expected you to say he had NIL back in 2005. He didn't.
He sure did.
He had prior experience.
Houses and cars and
cocaine.
Kevlar for the kids at practice.
Oh, Lord. All right. So OSU football had a lot of immediate availability yesterday. So it's good to see that their future quarterback, and then also, and that's assuming that Mestemaker is going to come in and win the job, and I know they'll say it's a competition, but
sure.
And Caleb Hawkins, great story on him as well when you look at his totality, and then also the players that stayed to get their perspective, and particularly on the defensive side, because I think I think there were times last year that you could see in the OSU games that they could go out and compete some.
Yeah, for
But
at least a half.
when the offense just is giving you absolutely nothing because they're down to, a fourth string quarterback, it's
A
tough.
wide receiver.
Exactly. All right. So college football always on the burner here at Lawdog Sports, the Weekend Big Show. Be sure and help out our sponsor, CCW Safe. They'll help you out as well. 100% criminal defensive costs covered up front under some plans, no occurrence limit as well. They are legal self-defense coverage with plans starting as low as $19 a month. Use the link in the scroll down below or the link in the description of this broadcast and check out CCW Safe. Self-defense support with deep expertise, personal care, and self-defense coverage that goes way beyond the basics. Trust the team at CCW Safe. All right, Jeremy. So basketball catching on, and we're starting to wind down college conference play. We'll be into March Madness before you know it. And then also the NBA getting going. As I mentioned, Marty Wandry in Vegas at the Venetian, that 17.5 point spread for the Thunder is now up to 18.5 is what I show. Mavericks and Timberwolves, that'll be a good one tonight. Is that going to be on ESPN? Cooper Flag's out, so it won't be very good.
No.
Yeah, it is an ESPN game. These networks that have doubled down on all of this coverage, because you get so many more NBA games on a network basis now. And so many teams are just sitting players out and load management and injury reports and things like that. It's got to suck to try to go to advertisers and say, yeah, invest in this game. It's the Lakers versus the Knicks, and it's the second night of a back-to-back for LeBron. So let's pony up the money for this one.
Okay, so I'm seeing that Claxton's a game time decision for the
Speedy.
Yeah, no, Nick. Yeah, Speedy Claxton. I don't understand how it's an 18.5 point spread when AJ Mitchell, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Jalen Williams are all out.
Yeah, they've been impressed. They were impressed with the Oklahoma City Blue, apparently. Michael Porter's not out. Yeah, that's like I said, I'd probably throw a dime out on the Nets to cover that 18.5.
I think I would too.
So Marty, if you're still listening at the Venetian, check that out. Holmgren is in. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, Jeremy.
Yeah, a lot of too big lineup just because you got to have one guy that can score the ball. Going to see a lot of Wiggins. I guess you got the kid they got. McLean.
Yeah.
Wiggins.
Yeah, I mean,
Wallace.
with some of the injury issues, he's getting his run. I mean, he's not going to have to worry about minutes as the adjustment, right?
No, he's going to get lots of minutes.
AJ Mitchell deal. That's where you want to see a kid like that be able to come in and take over, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I just wish AJ Mitchell was healthy.
Yeah. Yep. And so, anyways, the NBA. With, like I said, dealing with injuries and load management and injuries that are part of load management, whatever it might be. But like I said, you've got a marquee matchup tonight with the Mavericks and the Timberwolves, and no Cooper Flag. So that's no bueno.
Yeah. I heard something interesting the other day about the Mavs.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's talks of Cuban buying the franchise back because of the casino deal.
Yeah.
But see that the owner of the Mavericks, the current owner, will probably get an expansion franchise in Vegas.
So they're already guaranteeing a team to Seattle.
Seattle and Vegas will be your two expansion franchises.
And the talk was when they traded Luka Doncic was that it was to tank the program and force the hand of the Texas legislators to I'm going to speak clearly eventually.
That's okay. We're all struggling this morning.
Texas Congress to pass gambling in the state of Texas so that they could build a massive resort that would house the Mavericks. Does
Mhm.
that sound correct so far?
Yes.
So Mark Cuban, does he still have the assets to purchase an NBA team? I mean, I guess what he sold it for, but I'm sure the price has gone up.
Yeah, I think he's already he's still a minority owner.
So you just buy back.
Buy back enough shares to control interest. I don't know how any of that works.
How's he going to manage that and have a presidential run is my question.
I don't know.
Oh,
Cuban's
that's Stephen
Cuban's a little goofy, so
yeah.
whatever. The Mavs were better when he owned them. I think they should just that's a definite. Definitely don't. The NBA does not want to move a team out of Dallas. That's a major media market. I don't know why. I don't know why any professional sports team would want to play in Vegas. It's a transient culture there. You're not going to have.
I mean, you've got enough corporations that want to entertain people, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, and that's where Oklahoma City is going to get on the struggle bus. Jeremy, you had two major oil corporations bail.
Yeah, I know.
And so now without Devon and without whatever Expand or Chesapeake used to be, which I think they kind of a skeleton crew anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing compared to what they had when that campus was filled under the previous CEO. But I mean, you start losing big corporations out of your market, and it could be tough. But Vegas has. I mean, those casinos aren't going anywhere, and they're going to buy up huge packages to comp to people that stay.
I know. It's just a transient city. Everyone, it just doesn't feel like a sports town, and it never has. And then the gambling. The gambling.
Yeah,
I know all these major leagues are in bed with the casinos and FanDuel and all that. But we're still going to punish guys for gambling.
But if you bring
Brought to you by FanDuel.
I'm trying to get a sponsorship from Kalshi or whatever it is. So start making some money on this thing.
No kidding.
Will Chuck pick his nose on air? But no, with regards to sports and gambling, and particularly the NBA, because we know that they're the only league that has had a official convicted for gambling related offenses. I've seen this week on social media, and I haven't done a deep dive, but Adam Silver taking some criticism this week. And I think his total sellout of the league to the gambling agencies will end up biting him.
Right. And now they're going after tanking.
Yeah.
So you have a lottery system, you're going after tanking. They're going to propose that to do away with the draft. So the kids come out of college, they can just sign wherever they want. Is that what it's going to look like?
Well,
so we just get rid of the franchises like Orlando and Utah and Sacramento, where no one wants to play.
Well, they would be. I mean, okay. So I've said this for college football a bunch, and we need to start making our way. But the British Premier League of soccer has youth academies, and they get kids to come to their youth academies, and then I guess they have rights over those kids until somebody else buys the rights. So, and a kid who's in development gets bought out by a franchise, or he's they have on loan.
Yes.
So let's say you and I are 18-year-olds who are, been in the Oklahoma City Thunder program, and we're starting to develop. We get sent to the Orlando G League on loan, to develop and keep playing. I mean, it's so many winding roads that sports in America could take. And I heard this years ago from a guy who used to write a column in the back of Guns and Ammo magazine. He was some old grizzly colonel. Don't remember the name. It's back 35 years ago. But he was talking about gun laws was his point. He used the phrase that the United States is always 20 years behind England going down the wrong road. And that has stuck with me through my adult life when I hear things in Great Britain and things like that. And then you see the trend. So, who's to say if they did away with the draft? You just have kids that would be normally playing AAU ball be sent to academies sponsored by the Lakers. You know what I mean?
I guess.
I mean, you can't say it's not a possibility.
I don't know.
Because the AAU system's already bought and paid for now as it is.
You're right about that.
Two companies.
Yeah, maybe it's time for a new commish.
Oh, I think definitely. But who, it's one of those things like you fire a coach when you're 4-8. Who are you going to get?
Right.
Who's coming? And somebody that's unproven or somebody that's on the downslope. So, and I'll say this, and I hate to bring up the pencil neck again, but I constantly hear him railing against the down the hall hire, and that's what Nosferatu was.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of the commissioner in waiting.
I think he walks around, Mr. Burns.
All right. So, action this weekend, as I mentioned, tonight is going to be the Brooklyn Nets visiting the Oklahoma City Thunder. Over the weekend, Jenny Baranchik and the OU Lady Sooners, man, they got a nice win over the weekend. And then also big game the other night, or was it last night? I can't remember. Days are kind of running in between. But, man, Darius Acuff Jr., freshman at Arkansas, and they're talking about this could be the best freshman class of recruits ever. I mean, it's so much talk, but big night. I think 50-some points against Alabama, but they lose. And then also, let's see, looking at I'm going to be so busy doing taxes, everything's going to be on in the background, so who cares?
Awesome.
Yep. And then also real quick, Darren Peterson, the Kansas recruit, Aaron Torres put out on his newsletter that he is played in 15 of their 26 games so far this season.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other night against OSU, he has 23 and a half and then plays 2 minutes in the second half. I mean, that's the road we were talking about that you don't want to see collegiate sports take right there.
And we're on it.
Yeah, but I mean, apparently, his agent is calling the shots with his Darren Peterson.
Hits a 3 and subs out.
Yeah, I mean, just they clipped it and showed it. He and plus, I tell you, it grinds my gears. He just how long was he just standing there on his spot?
I don't.
And gets the ball in an uncontested 3. It's like, what were you? I know guys penetrate to the bucket, but good Lord, be in the vicinity. He had all day to shoot a 3.
Yeah.
But no, played in 15 out of 26 games for the Jayhawks, 403 total minutes this season. His teammate, Melvin Council Jr., nearly 900 minutes on the season. I mean, that's
Gotta
just
stay fresh for the draft.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's Kansas. Thought that NIL bag was enough, to get you motivated to play. That's what we were told.
Well, my problem, I guess I just want to see where this goes. Are NBA GMs going to be turned off by the fact that he pulled this? Is it going to affect his draft stock?
Not when he works out.
No.
I mean, he will bite them in the butt.
Sure.
I promise you that.
Yeah, he'll do something.
Did you see LaMelo Ball? I assume it's correct. Did you see his vehicle crash into some car?
I did.
Wow. Mid-season.
Downtown Charlotte.
Charlotte. What is it? Jacksonville and Duval County?
Duval, yeah.
That's all I hear. People talk about Duval this, Duval that. And kudos and rest in peace, Super Sky Point, whatever you want to say, to the late great actor Robert Duvall as he took the next step to eternity. And man, Jeremy, if you're on Facebook very much, the Lonesome Dove clips have been really resounding. And I've probably watched that. And I love Lonesome Dove in all transparency. Love the show. But that bar scene where he smacks the bartender has been on heavy rotation on social media.
Just an amazing actor.
I loved him in Network.
He was great in everything he was in.
One of his unheralded roles, and it's a pretty bad racial statement in a movie, but from '93, the Geronimo biopic, or the Geronimo, it was Geronimo, an American Legend, or something. Jason Patrick, Matt Damon, and Robert Duvall, and Wes Studi, a member of the Cherokee Nation up in Tahlequah, played Geronimo. And if you go back and watch it, I'm not going to repeat the line, but Robert Duvall makes a statement about Texans that's very, very racially charged, and always kind of made me laugh. But just odd timing back in the '90s to air that. But anyways, Super Sky point to him, and then somebody else. The leader, this singer of Three Doors Down.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember his name, but that guy.
Yeah, I can't. I remember seeing it and like, man, that's
they were Superman, right?
Yes.
And then the big
Here Without You, yeah,
that one. All right, Jeremy, what do you got going this weekend?
Brad Arnold.
Arnold.
I couldn't think of that.
What's on your agenda for the weekend?
Get some rest, man. I'm tired.
Well, it sure does mean a lot to me when you tell me that, and you actually were great to show up on the program, and that's why you were appreciated so well. And when we get that Kalshi sponsorship, we'll definitely hook you up.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we
I want it in Bitcoin.
We're entering. Oh God. All right, he's Jeremy Schroder, ruler of the Airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. This has been the Weekend Big Show. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter X at Lawdog Sports. Jeremy and I, we go back and forth a lot during the week. And what was it I tagged you on yesterday? Was it a Chiefs thing?
Well, let me look at it right here. No, that's old. Why? It's just showing old notifications, Sal. I can't even remember.
Maybe it was was it a Cubs deal?
Nick Castellanos was released by the Phillies.
That was last week. I thought I tagged you. Oh, maybe it was on Facebook. I tagged you.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyways, be sure and check out some baseball today. And the Rangers have a spring training game today. And check out our episode with John Moore from DLLS Texas Rangers Weekly Podcast from last week's episode on our YouTube channel. Please, please, please subscribe and like our comment. Thanks to everybody for jumping in. Marty Wandry, John Arnold, and Dan Narva here on the comments. We want to interact with you. Be sure and do so on our social media and here on the live broadcast. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. We'll talk to you real soon.